Today, on the Vince Everett Ellison Show, when I was down in Gettysburg College, every time I would bring up something about America today and us building, somebody would bring up the Tulsa Massacres of 1921. Well, we're going to talk about Tulsa. And we're going to talk about the last living survivor of the Tulsa Massacres, how she just recently died, and how the Tulsa Massacres should teach us something in America about ourselves. We destroy our communities. We've done much more damage, black people have, than any white person did in Tulsa. And we're going to talk about that today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, let's get this thing started. When I was up in Gettysburg College last week, I had a great time. I had to do a podcast about it the other week. I talked about that old silly, ignorant, effeminate, maybe gay chaplain that they have up there, named Michael Bright. And I exposed him for what he was, and I exposed Gettysburg College for what they're doing to those poor young people. I call them children because they're so much younger than me. So I don't mean it to be disparaging, but they are very, very young. And when I look at them kind of as children, because I remember when I was 19, 18, 17 years old, and I was away from home, and the amount of power these people have over you. And it extends because those children are very intelligent. Those young people are very intelligent. And when I was being questioned by many of the young black people up there, this one young lady brought up the fact that we can't build anything in America. And when I explained to her that we could, she started bringing up, the Tulsa race riots back in 1921. And this thing became a thing within the last 20 or 30 years when somebody pulled it out of a history book and they made a movie about it. And they called it Black Wall Street. And the black people of Tulsa tried to sue the government because they said they destroyed Black Wall Street and for the people that they killed, and they wanted the government to pay some type of reparations. And for years they went to court and they went to Congress and everything. Just recently, the last survivor of the Tulsa race riots died, the last black survivor. She died November 24th of this year. She was 111 years old. She lived a long time, and God decided to take her on home. Well, these people of this day and age, it's so greedy. They took this old lady in her old age and hauled her up to Congress and wanted her to testify about getting some type of reparations because she was the last person that had standing because she was affected by the race riot itself. And of course, they were going to try to get the Congress to give her money, and then they were going to all split it,
She had testified before Congress about what she saw a century earlier.
I hear the screams. I have lived through the massacre every day. Our country may forget this history, but I cannot.
Well, just like black Democrats, they always want to get something for free, all right? So they complain about not building because they're saying, well, if we build something, they're going to do it us just like they did in Tulsa back in 1921. They're going to burn it down like they burned down Black Wall Street. Well, number one, Black Wall Street was rebuilt. And the reason it doesn't exist today is not because of white people, but because black people decided to integrate. And they decided to start taking their business to their former masters. That's it.
After the Tulsa Race Massacre in 1921, Greenwood was left in ashes. But real estate mogul John Wesley Williams refused to let it stay that way. With no insurance payouts and threats from white officials, he helped rebuild Black Wall Street. Brick by brick, in just 5 years, Greenwood rose again, not because of help, but because of determination.
They've always believed that the white man's ice was colder and that his fire was hotter. And as soon as integration came, Black Wall Street was gone. Just like most of the businesses inside of Black America. Again, man, we've always been our biggest enemy. It hasn't been anybody else. It's always been black people themselves. And let me make this point, please. So they want to talk about Tulsa. They want to talk about, we need all these reparations for Tulsa. They don't talk about how integration in Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement destroyed Black Wall Street. That's what destroyed it. It wasn't white people, it was us, but they don't want to talk about that. All they want to talk about is what was done 105 years ago in Tulsa. Now, according to statistics, the Tulsa race riot lasted from May 31st to June 1st, 1921. We're not going to get into the minutiae of all of it, but it started with a black boy on an elevator. They said he tried to kiss a white girl, and all things went to hell in a handbasket after that, okay? Black folks took their sides, white folks took their sides, everybody started fighting. They want you to believe that only black people got killed in Tulsa. That was not true. They said between 150 and 200 blacks were killed, but also 50 whites were killed also. I know that's a smaller amount of white people, but that's a good amount of people dead, black and white. And there was about $36 million worth of damage in all in Tulsa. That's a lot of damage. But y'all, since Tulsa, and this has been in my lifetime, Tulsa was 104 years ago, it'll be 105 years ago next year, it was in 1921. Since Tulsa, let us go to the 1960s, where Martin Luther King Jr. was just burning down the whole freaking country. He didn't see a city he didn't want to burn up. They say that in the 1960s riots, there were over 200 people killed. 200. And there was $400 million in damage versus $36 million in Tulsa. 400 million. They say in the Rodney King riots of the 1990s, y'all can remember those? The police officers caught beating up Rodney King. They got found not guilty. They decided to tear up Los Angeles. Black people decided to. Well, 63 people were killed in that riot. 63, and they said that it was approximately $1 billion in damage for the Rodney King riots. $1 billion versus 36 million. And the 36 million, y'all, they are 2024 numbers, okay? So, yeah, same number. 36 million, these are 2024 numbers for Tulsa, all right? The Rodney King riots were $1 billion. That's what black people did. So they did 400 million in the 1960s, and 200 people died. They did 1 billion in 1992, and 63 people died. And then in the BLM riots, in the George Floyd riots of a few years ago, $2 billion worth of damage, and 42 people died. People, that's $3.4 billion worth of damage. I said $3.4 billion versus 36 million. That's almost 100 times more. Black people did that themselves to their own communities. White people didn't do this. And we want to talk about Tulsa and what white people tear down? Pause for effect. I've always told you that black people are their own biggest enemy. And they always want to try to make white America and white conservatives the scapegoats for the stuff that they do. It's not white women calling the police on black men, having them put in jail. It's black women doing it. It's not white women taking black men to child support court and having them locked up. It's not white men in our communities selling drugs on the street corners and fighting and killing. No, it's black people doing it. So you can pull out Tulsa all you want to try to justify your wicked behavior. You've done 100 times worse to your own people. 100 times. I got the numbers right here, man. So they brought her to Washington, D.C. to try to get her to testify. And they still didn't get any reparations. Joe Biden showed up in Tulsa, though.
In 2021, Viola met President Biden on his visit to Tulsa to mark the 100th anniversary. Just days.
Joe showed up to show solidarity. I don't know why he showed up. But, you know, the black folks in Tulsa just did the Holy Ghost dance because Joe had showed up. And it's amazing how they know black Democrats so well. They know exactly what to do to get them to react and get them to respond, like rats in a Skinner box. They know exactly how to make you do what they want you to do. So they got up, they had the hearings, and here it is. Interestingly enough, Barack Obama's in office, right? The first black president, Barack Hussein. Barack has a filibuster-proof majority in the House and the Senate between like 2007, 2008, and 2010. Joker could have passed anything he wanted. He had 60 votes in the Senate. He had a majority in the House. Filibuster-proof, player. Put it in. Pass it. You know how many times any reparations came up? It's like my good friend Tucker Carlson when I asked Tucker. Tucker, how many times reparations came up when Barack Obama was president? Tucker said approximately 0. Approximately 0. And why don't y'all ever talk about that? And then as soon as all these Democrats leave and a Republican gets up there, y'all start talking about reparations again. And you never ever bring up the fact that Barack Obama had everything he needed to give, and you didn't get $1 for Tulsa, for slavery, for nothing else, for the Middle Passage. As I've said before, if you want some reparations, what black folks need to do is go to Donald Trump and tell him to go to Africa and get them. Donald Trump might be crazy enough to do it. All he needs is one stealth bomber. You take everything they got. Say, hey, man, yeah, we back. Yeah, you know them slaves you put on the slave ships about 200-300 years ago? Yeah, well, we back. Coming back for what you owe us. Because no matter how you try to fix it, man, they sold us. They said, we don't want y'all over here anymore. How much money you Europeans got? They gave them some trinkets and stuff. They said, you can have them. So, I mean, I think America's paid enough. I mean, you have 600,000 dead in the Civil War. Some say close to 1 million. You have like $3 trillion worth of damage in the Civil War. They offered you the Homestead Act. You turned it down, where you get 150 acres of land out west. If you just leave your master and decide to just tend it for 5 years, it's yours forever. You wouldn't do that. They killed half of the able-bodied men in the Confederacy. So if you want to have a good black uprising in the South and run the South, you could have done that. You didn't do that. You let a bunch of ragtag Confederate men come back with their eyes blowed out, one leg, one arm, and just completely control the whole black population, black male population. You laid down, man. You just laid down, okay? You had the Republican Army down here for 12 years protecting you from them. And finally, they just said, look, man, if y'all want to just lay down and be slaves, go ahead on. But we got something else better to do now. And still complaining about reparations. Like I said, told you before, white folks got more patience than I got. So I told those little children up at Gettysburg College, I gave them all these facts. Told them, you talk about your ghettos right now. The reason why you can't put a Walmart in the ghetto is because you're stealing from it. You can't. Joe's just walking out with stuff, man.
A brazen smash and grab heist caught on surveillance video. This happened at a jewelry store in San Jose, California. Video shows a car backing through the front doors. Moments later, more than a dozen masked robbers swarmed the store, breaking open display cases. A shirtless man, the store owner, was knocked to the ground. He suffered a stroke and was cut by broken glass. According to people who know him, he is expected to be okay. Police say no arrests have been made.
Badass kids just going there fighting and tearing up stuff. You say, hey, man, sit down, boy. They don't want to do anything. Man, I tell you what. So what did they do? They just pull it out. And then you want to talk about food deserts. Can't have a store because you steal. They don't want to build no stores here because they're racist. No, dear, no. I don't mind selling drugs in the black community. They gonna go where the money is, man. Liquor stores, drugs, guns, food. But the people that sell the drugs know how to deal with y'all. They just shoot you, okay? The people that own the liquor stores know how to deal with you. And the people that sell the guns damn sure know how to deal with you. So they can keep those shops through the ghettos. But the people in the grocery stores, man, these guys just trying to sell some food. Walmart is set up to be a armed camp. John Adams said, this Constitution is designed for a religious and a moral people that is wholly inadequate for any other. America is set up that way. We're set up with a moral code that we've all decided to live a certain way. And the fact that you people always bring up Tulsa and something that white people did 100 years ago, 150 years ago, like slavery, to justify your wretched behavior now is a basic indicator that you are not ready for freedom. Well, you got your freedom. You're not ready to flourish in it. You're not ready to flourish in your freedom. What killed Black Wall Street? A basic lie that does not understand fundamental economics. Best service, best product, best price. People won't care what your color is, they'll come buy from you. That's not a suggestion of economics. That is a law. Best service, best product, best price. A basic fundamental law that the Civil Rights Movement brought into America that says that the law can make you equal when equality is a lie. Nothing can make you equal. We're born equal, and after that, everybody has to go to their own corner. And we are all completely, absolutely, positively different. If all people are equal, no one is free. We are different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. There's nothing wrong with having a different skill set. That's how we all get along, y'all. Everybody's not a car mechanic. Some people are mechanics. Some people are cooks. Some people are x-ray technicians. Some people are doctors. Some are teachers. Some are lawyers. We're all different. And these differences make up a great society where we can all depend on each other's gifts to survive. And it's beautiful. I depend on other people for their expertise. They depend on me for mine. And we're different. If we were all equal, it would be like this. I'm 230 pounds. This lady might be 120. A man that's 180 pounds comes and hits me. I shoot him. Same man comes, hits her. She shoots him. Equality means that we get the same verdict when it comes down to the law. But you know that's not right. Equality means that if I get off, she gets off. Equality means if she goes to jail, I go to jail. No. But this is justice. We're not looking for equality. We're looking for justice. What does justice say? Justice say, Vince, you weigh 230 pounds. This man weigh 180 pounds. He came up to you and hit you. You should have beat him up. You didn't have to shoot that man. Justice says Vince goes to jail. This young lady that weighed 120 pounds, this guy came and hit her. She shot him. Justice means she goes home. She don't go to jail. She couldn't fight this guy and beat him up. People talk about equality. That's a lie they're telling you. There's no equality. And Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement, these Democrats still tell you the same lie, that they can make you equal. No, they can't. They tell the same lie that they can use the law to bring about economic equity. No, you cannot. Ask them to define what economic equity is. Tell them how much is it. You see them, well, they can't tell you. Ask me what it is. I'll tell you. Allow every individual to go out to the marketplace and sell his skill set or sell the things that he's made. That's it. And allow consumers to come to him and buy. Uncoerced. Isn't that easy? Make sure that the courts give equal protection under the law, and that they give us justice. Yes, justice. That's what our preamble says that the Constitution is supposed to give us. Justice, not equality. It said to establish justice and secure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense and promote the general welfare, and to promote the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. That's it. To ourselves and our posterity. But they have lied to you, and they've told you that they can use the law to promote justice, to establish justice, to establish equality. Yeah, the law can be used to establish some justice, but it cannot make you equal. It cannot make you equal. So to the people that don't want to complain about Tulsa, I feel sorry for y'all. Because whenever you find somebody that's going to bring up Tulsa, you got two things going on here. One is that they're a shyster trying to play you for a fool. And two, you're a fool being played by a shyster. One or the other. When I see that congregation going on, when I see that conversation going on amongst a group of people, you got a liar and a shyster, and you got a bunch of sheep. You'll never get any reparations for it. The Tulsa example and situation shows you one thing, and one thing only. If you are weak, you will be attacked. If you're weak, you will be destroyed. If you're weak, you can never, ever flourish in your freedom. So let's be strong, let's stand strong, and let's stop destroying ourselves, because when it comes down to it, you're the only one that can take you out. Be strong, be courageous, believe in God, you will be protected. And I'm going to keep bringing you this sermon, this speech, these facts, because I'm here to wake you up. And I hope I did you some good here today. So join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website, and on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps, you got my books, my documentaries, you got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts, we're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it, make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good, and it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.